You guys coming off a Tuesday night victory over Merrimack, number 12 in the polls. Ahead of tomorrow's matchup, what would you like to see different from the team after Tuesday night? What did you like that you saw? Just lay it out for us how you think the team overall did.
Yeah, I thought it was a kind of a, I don't know if it was a slow start for us, but we found ourselves down 1-0 in the first period. And then, had to kill a couple penalties, but I liked the way we finished that period. I thought we played pretty well in the second, got a big, power play goal. That was something that we hadn't got a lot of recently. And that tied the game up. I liked how we finished the second, and I thought we played a pretty strong third. They're a really good team. They come at you with four lines. Their defense are deep. They're deep in goal. They have two goaltenders. In a lot of ways, we're very similar as teams, and we were able to get that second goal, and then Nick's power play goal late was really big for us. So it was a game where I thought special teams and goaltending were excellent, and going to need more of that Friday night to be successful. And if we want to win the season series against Merrimack, we're gonna need a lot more of that on Friday night.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. As always, we'll start off with Randy.
Thanks. How you doing, Cav?
I'm great, thanks, Randy. You?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Hey, I want to ask about Nick Capone. So much was made of when he came. There was a lot of kind of high anticipation, him coming. He's always hit, but man, he's producing now. That was a sweet goal the other night. I think it's 6 goals, 3 assists. How do you like his progress in his junior year here as an NHL prospect with Tampa, where he is this year?
Yeah, I think, when Nick's moving his feet, that's when he's playing his best. Because in order to be a physical player, you have to skate. You have to get to spots. And so when you see Nick finishing checks, you know that he's moving his feet and he's getting to the dirty areas to score goals as well. And I think he's always had pretty good puck skills. And the other night, that was a really nice goal he scored. He got that puck in the middle in the bumper position, turned and shot it. And we need more of that. But he's someone who's, I think, improved gradually here. And I still think, there's more room. You haven't seen his ceiling yet.
Great. And then in general, there's really only been one game all year that didn't look like your brand of hockey. For you to bounce back as you did in a tough Hockey East barn, place was packed, and I'm sure it was a tough environment. What does that say about your team?
Yeah, well, I've saying all year long we're a pretty resilient team, and the guys took that loss hard, and I was happy with the way they bounced back. Certainly at Lawler Arena. I mean, I grew up playing there, so I know that arena inside and out. It's a tough place for a visiting team to come in and win. So I was proud of our effort.
Thanks.
Sure.
We'll head over to Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Morning, Cav. How are you?
I'm great, Joe. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. You only got one kid on the defense in Tom. Can you talk about how he's grown during the year and what works well with his pairing with Jake?
Are you talking one freshman defenseman?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. He came in. He was a kid we saw last year. I had seen him at St. Sebastian's, and my nephew actually was the manager of the team, and he kept telling me about him and really liked him. And then last year he was playing out in Chilliwack, and we saw him play, and he was doing some good things out there. He came in this year. He's always been able to skate, Joe. He's an excellent skater. And I think, the synergy that he and Jake Flynn have together, because they're both excellent skaters and they defend really well, we kind of found it organically. It wasn't something that we thought in the beginning of the year, let's pair these two together. I think they'll be a great pair. It just kind of happened. We were moving people around in preseason, and the two of them seemed to play pretty well and play well off each other, and been really, certainly pleasantly surprised from the standpoint of he's played big minutes for us against top lines, and very happy with his performance so far.
One more thing, Cav. Can you talk about their top line, Leppinen and Capone? What kind of problems and Jeffries, who had the goal for them the other night, what kind of problems they present?
Yeah, they're all they play with a ton of energy, that line. I mean, Capone's a hard-nosed kid, and Jeffries is an excellent skater and can shoot the puck. They also, like Welsher's line is a really good line. Brar's line's a really good line. It's not a line that you can just, hey, if we shut this line down, we got a really good chance to win the game. They're pretty deep. So not to take anything away from Capone and Jeffries and Leppinen, because I think they're all excellent players, and they're certainly, when they're on the ice, we have to be cognizant of it. But they're pretty deep with their other lines as well.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll head over to you, Eric.
Hi, Mike. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Eric. I'm great. Yourself?
Good. This year, 7-0-2 on home ice. I think last year you guys were like 8-7. You put your finger on why you've played better in your own barn?
I don't know. I think the teams. It's a good question. I don't really have an answer for it. I think, as I think Randy alluded to earlier, we've probably only played one really bad game all year long. And when you compete hard every night, you give yourself a chance to win. And when you compete hard and you stay within your structure and you play as a team, you got a great chance to win. So I wish I had an answer for you. I don't. I mean, it's fun to play at the XL Center. I think our crowds have gotten better and better with each game, and that's certainly something we feed off, the energy of the crowd. There's no question about that.
Thanks.
We'll head over to you, Dan.
We're speaking of home ices. How's that barn next door coming along? You got a month and a half.
Yeah, I went through it yesterday. It was it's nice to see, like, the boards are in and the glass is in, and a lot of the finishing touches are being put on things. I think they're putting ice in a couple of weeks. They're going to start putting the ice in. The club lounge is pretty much done, so it's looking like a professional arena here that we'll be playing in soon. So I'm excited about it. That's for sure.
You have an idea yet of a date or a rough estimate when you're going to be able to move in there?
I think January 1st, like somewhere around there. I think we'll be skating right around that week, when we come back. So I think that's probably the target date that we'd move back. The kids will go home for break, and then when they come back from break, we'll practice here in the Freitas before Long Island, and then after the Long Island trip, probably move our stuff in. And everyone's healthy as of today, Dan, right now.
I was there Tuesday. Wasn't even going to ask.
All right.
We'll head over to you, Jody.
Cav, piggybacking kind of on Danny's question, you're into December now, and you've only got 2 games to go before the break. With all the momentum that you've built up through the first half of the season, how important is it to keep that going in these last 2 games against Merrimack and BU?
Oh yeah, it's like we're trying to we understand where we are in the season, and it's been probably I don't know if there's been a first half of the season where we've played as many games and against as many quality opponents to start a season. We'll have played 19 games, which is more than half our schedule. But before January 1st. Actually, we'll have played 21 games before January 1st, but of the 19 games we'll play before the break, I think 12 will be against top 20 teams, which is a pretty, tough schedule to play. And I like the way that our kids have handled it. And it doesn't get any easier, Joe. Jerry York used to always tell me that, the men's league starts after January 1st. And that's when you really got to dial it in. So, but we'll just stay focused on Merrimack here and getting through this first half, have a little break and reconvene and get right back after it.
Go ahead, Randy.
Thanks. My men's league begins next week. I think we're talking about different leagues, Coach.
Probably.
Tier 4A beer league, not quite the same as Hockey East. I know you're likely to see Borgiel, but to get 3 past Olis as you did, who had 2 shutouts in his previous 2 games, 6'8" goalie, that's something you rarely see. Is like, how do you beat a guy that takes up that much net and who's been playing so well lately with back-to-back shutouts going in?
Yeah, one of the things, Randy, we try not to focus on the goaltender because there's so many good goalies throughout the league, whether it's Comesso or Svedback and just right down the line, Dobas at Ohio State. There's so many good goaltenders nowadays that we just try to focus on, let's get pucks and bodies to the net, deflections. Like you look in the NHL, those are the most elite goaltenders. They get scored on every night. So, and it's very rarely do you beat good goaltenders clean. So we really try to focus on rebounds, deflections, shooting pucks quick, those types of things. And like Jake Percival's goal, I mean, Ola stopped the first shot. We were there for the rebound and were able to knock it in. So those are the things that we really focus on. Not so much the goaltender we're playing, but us being able to get traffic and volume and take the eyes away and those types of things.
Did you obviously you produced 2 power play goals. I think last we talked, you said, puck movement's been good, but funneling more pucks to net and, just what you described. Did you like what you saw in the power play?
Yeah, I did. The first goal is a shot that's blocked, but that's okay because it goes to our guy and we throw it out. And now you get them moving around. And now Samu had a pretty clean look at the net. We got a good look there. And then we won some battles, and Nick got a puck on the slot and shot it. He didn't think twice about it, tried to make an extra pass, and it went in. And I think, the best power plays are those that get volume and pucks to the net. Excuse me.
Anything else for Coach, guys?
Yeah, I got one more.
Go ahead, Joe.
Jake's got 5 goals on 18 shots, which is 28%, which would make him a pretty good 3-point shooter in college basketball. Would you like to see him shoot more? Obviously, with Hudson and Ryan, there's a lot of shots gobbled up there. But are you and the guy coaches on him to maybe put a few more pucks on net?
If he stays at that percentage, I am. Yeah. I mean, if he's going to shoot at 28%. I think some of it's a byproduct of his goals, though he gets a lot of goals by going to the net and knocking in rebounds. But he's a kid that certainly can score on his own. And another, freshman who we've been pleasantly surprised with his production and his impact on a game. So no question, Joe, I'd like to see him shoot more pucks.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I think you're muted, Andrew.
Sorry, I thought I muted myself.
Okay, no problem.
There was a great atmosphere in Lawler the other night, and both programs are ranked. Just what do you think it says about the league right now that was such a marquee matchup? It might not have been as big of a marquee matchup in years past.
Yeah, what's funny is the first game we played in Hockey East was at Merrimack. and it did not have the energy that game had the other night. It was great to see. As I alluded to earlier, I grew up watching Merrimack college hockey, and I played my high school hockey there. I played a lot of college games in that rink. I've coached a lot of games in that rink, so I certainly have an affection for it. And to see it, with the full pack crowd there the other night, with the energy that was in that building for a Tuesday night in November, it was fun, and I think that speaks, volumes about the league. I would say that at one point, and you could check it, Andrew, I'm not sure, but there's 5 or 6 teams Hockey East has in the top 20, and there were 4 in the top 10. So, it's a tough league night in and night out, and I have the utmost respect for what Scott's done there. They've been good now for a few years. It's not just. It wasn't like we went in there and like, oh, Merrimack's having a banner year this year. They've been good for a while.
Dan, we'll head over to you.
While we're talking about North Andover, Jack's also from there. Was that, a conversation when you were recruiting him, or is that something that you've just kind of chatted with him since, or did you have a connection there to him since he was from the same hometown as you?
Yeah, I know his family. I knew his family pretty well. His dad and I played together growing up, so I know the Pascucci family pretty well. They lived about a half a mile up the street from me when we were growing up.